my god, Tangen's gonna shut him down. It's a double kill for Jim.
Oh my god, Jim!
Looking pretty good. It's gonna be a triple kill. Jim comes on fire. Jim comes on fire.
Angle, but couldn't land the shot. The dark scope, the two-piece! Oh my god!
Cada equipo ahí contesta trató de darle ese respetazo ahí, consigue eliminar a Medusa y rápido se voltea y
destaque na marotagem, belo ângulo dele! For him, he's gonna be able to take out. Oh my god! Oh no! He was down to 1 second on the clock. Já pegou bala na cara do Master. O Omairinho vai tentando fazer o primeiro. Da estátua vai tentar o tiro porrada e bomba! Vem! Clutch muito difícil de vencer, mas...
Anywhere on the body that you hit, he no-scoped for a follow right there. He no-scoped.
termina eliminando a Jack y Wax queda solamente vivo por parte de repente consigue la primera baja que es Sam. Se da cuenta que no
What is good, everybody? We are back with another week of Mobile Mayhem. We are joined by the one and only Denominate. His face will be with us shortly. But until then, you guys are stuck with me. Excited for today's action. Definitely have a good matchup ahead of us. A number of good matchups, but one that I'm definitely really excited for. That being our final matchup of the night. We'll go ahead and take a look at tonight's matchups right here, as you guys are going to see. We do have Exiled versus Zygnus off the start. Both Zygnus and Zygnus Black off to a very, very strong start this season. So those are going to be two of the teams you guys are going to want to keep an eye out for. Obviously, I believe it is Cygnus Main that is formerly NL. And then Cygnus Black is actually the underage team for Cygnus. So the primary Cygnus roster will be the one that will be playing in Champs. Following that, we do have Shred It versus 11T. And both teams pretty much in the middle of the pack right now, trying to fight for one of those top 6 spots. After that, we do have F4 versus Cygnus Black. F4, even though they haven't won a match yet, has had some really solid performances against good teams. And then the last matchup of the night, which I'm really excited to see, is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Nova Invictus. Obviously, Tribe, the reigning champions, and the number 1 team for this season as well, going up against Nova Invictus, who, even though they don't have the topmost points, I think are pretty dang close. Oh, I was wrong. They're actually tied for first place, so that's pretty much the best matchup we're going to get, at least at this point in the season, and definitely going to make for some great content. I believe we are still without Days Face.
Yeah, I'm getting here right now. Had a slight emergency to take care of.
Oh, good. We'll go ahead and take a look at the maps and bans for this one. So, game number 1. We do have Standoff on... Wait. Hardpoint on Standoff, followed by Raid, Search, and Destroy. Summit Domination, if we do end up going to a game 3, as far as the weapon bans, Exiled banning the QQ9, Cygnus banning the HVK. Probably going to see a whole lot of PP19s and DRHs if I had to guess. Those have been two of the go-tos, especially with those 2 weapons banned. We do have full-on bans for Respawn Sniping on the Man-O-War, for shotguns, LMGs, and I think that covers the majority of the actual gun bans, but
all operators too, if you want to throw that in.
yeah,
I mean, I know they're not like actual guns,
streaks,
but
except for cluster and pred missile, number of different perks. You guys can check all that out if you want to join the Mobile Mayhem Discord. That's probably the best way for you to check out the full list of rules. As far as the actual maps banned by each of the teams, Exiled banning Hardpoint on Summit, and Cygnus banning Hardpoint on Firing Range. Not too surprising to see there. That seems to be kind of the go-to, at least for the top ranked team. And this Cygnus team is currently at 40 points, so nicely in 4th place right now, actually tied with 11T and with Cygnus Black. So definitely a very tight race right now. Is currently only 15 points separating 1 through 6, and 7 and 8 not too far behind at 25 points apiece. Obviously, F4 and Vitro both looking to prove something, but F4 has had some big performances. Did F4 get a... They haven't gotten a match win, right?
I believe so. I believe they won the last match because of DQ with Wally.
Oh, that's where the 15 points came from. Okay. Wow.
Yep.
That's what I knew they had something happen, but I couldn't. Okay, that makes sense.
This is why you don't run VTOL, homies.
We'll see if any of the players playing today have managed to learn from the mistakes that we did see in Tuesday's matchup. We do have everybody loaded in, so admins, whenever we're good to go, y'all can go ahead and take us in. But yeah, definitely got a really good night of Call of Duty mobile action coming at you guys, and we should be good to go ahead and start pretty soon here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good matchups ahead of us. There's a lot of teams that really came in as underdogs and have really showed us some good performances. I mean, there's definitely been, some matchups that end up one-sided, but there's also a lot of teams that coming into the season, we didn't really expect them to have the same level of success that we've seen out of them so far. Examples such as Shred It, Vitro, who I do believe are still sitting down towards the bottom, have put up a phenomenal fight against many of the top teams in the season. So I mean, it's really just a great time for COD Mobile. Obviously this season, as you mentioned, a lot of the bans are player voted, and it really narrows it down to being what team is going to have the best synergy, what team is going to make the best rotations, which team is going to have the most gun skill, because we're not going to see those late game domination flips for the most part, thanks to score streaks and operators and things of that nature. So definitely a exciting year ahead of us.
Fun fact, COD Mobile actually did end up getting a CDL bundle, so you'll see some of the players using kind of the go-to skin that a lot of the CDL players use. We don't have any CDL team branded actual skins, but we do have CDL calling cards, so we'll see if any of those are coming into play. And interestingly enough, 4 players for Exiled with operators on right now, and normally I would assume that is for speed boosting classes, but it looks like they're still rocking them right now. So living life on the edge. Honestly, 3 players for Zygnus as well, as players putting up a lot of risk for not really any reward. Surprised that we haven't seen more players make that adjustment so far, but we'll kind of roll with it and see what we've got. As we do have actually a really good start for Exiled right here. They get 23 seconds on the hill. We do get a break from Zygnus as they're off to a tad bit of a slow start. And we see that every once in a while from them. That, especially on P1 on standoff, I feel like they start off slow sometimes here, but typically tend to pick things up on the rotations through P2 and P3. And we do see them getting a couple breaks right here off the start. So definitely going to continue to see that cycle as expected. We do have a lot of PP19s and a lot of DRHs. I think actually everybody using those 2 guns, with the exception of Irving, currently using the Fennec. So definitely a close game as we do head into P2, but full control for Zygnus right here. It's not going to be an easy break for Exile.
Yeah, not at all. And, the Fennec is kind of one of those niche guns that does have its place, and we've seen it used by a handful of players. And I think this is one of those maps that you can really kind of justify its use the most. There's a lot of really close-range gunfights that happen, whereas the Fennec has historically struggled once you get into that mid-range. We've definitely seen a couple players be able to make use of it, again, specifically with the red dot. It seems to just have a positive effect on the recoil, I guess is the easiest way to put it. But overall, this is a pretty strong start for the side of Zygnus. I know Exiled, kind of one of those teams that had a lot of question marks around them as we came into the season, but honestly have had a pretty explosive start. So I'll have to see. This is one of the tougher matchups that they're going to have. They are at about a 50-point deficit right now. Irving did make the rotation up top, is going to clear out that hard point. And it's going to be Zygnus once again on point. Roballo comes through with a big kill, though, up top. Can he find the other onto S-Thug? Doesn't look to be so. So that is going to be Control going over to Zygnus. Carla picking up a triple kill with the Pred missile there. Pretty solid work.
Yeah, and I believe Irving is new for Zygnus, unless that is somebody with a name change, which I'm sure our admins can confirm or deny in the chat. But we do already have Tatio with the cluster strike on deck. 10 kills on the board for him, make it 11. Looking to cycle back through for the Pred missile, not going to be able to do it, but given the rotation back to P1, we will likely see that come into play soon. Not that they're necessarily going to need it, as we do have DeCarla with a cluster strike ready to go as well. Obviously, Zygnus pretty dominant so far, 80-point lead. To have a lead that big and you're only on the rotation into P4, you got to think it's going to be a really big uphill battle. And we actually see DeCarla calling in the cluster strike very early. I can't imagine that being a very big value cluster strike, given that they're all going in from Box's side and everybody from Zygnus is spawning gas station side. So that doesn't... I just don't think that was the right move there. I think you wait for the rotation back to P1. You're super exposed. Somebody's going to be where you're getting the cluster strike called in, but you called in right there. I don't think there was a single kill that went in.
Yeah, no, I mean, the most I could say towards it is potentially some zoning, but definitely zoned on the wrong side. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. Right now, we actually have had a pretty sizable gap closed by the side of Exiled on this hard point, but is going to be Zygnus making the break there towards the end, picking up some extra points. Now, as we do get rotated back over towards P1, do believe it is important to note that we have no score streaks available currently. So we won't have any potential zoning out of those. We do have the TO up top picking up a kill, as well as looking for X-Ball. Finds the double, might get the reload through. Can he find the kill? TO finds a
He doesn't need it
triple.
because he got 64 bullets in his magazine.
Yeah, good point.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the PP-19. It's got the mobility and the ADS time of an SMG. It's got the range of an AR. It's got the magazine capacity of an LMG. All those combined, not too surprised to see this many players using it. And the lead does continue to grow for Zygnus right here. Honestly, looking at the kills, I'm surprised it's as close as it is because there's nobody below 15 for Zygnus and there's nobody above 13 for Exiled right now. So just getting absolutely outslayed, and typically it's in hardpoint that we see that having the biggest dividends, but obviously Exiled able to get their holds, to hold them at least a decent amount of time before getting broken. We do see a gunfight happening over in back alley right here, and Carla trying to keep them back. Actually going to be able to get the double kill right there. Very, very clean. Going to slide the corner. Gets kill number 1. See if he can get kill number 2. He does, and oh my gosh. Getting very close to score streaks getting called in, as we do have another player rotating back from gas station. 22 on the board. Not even top fragging right now, as S-Thug's taking the biggest part of the load with 26. Does have a UAV equipped, which is once again just very, very risky. Typically wouldn't recommend it, but as long as you can stay as disciplined as possible, not too much to worry about.
Yeah, solid lead currently for Zygnus. They're approaching 100 points. I mean, as you mentioned, the kills all going in their favor. The defensive rotations coming out of Zygnus have been absolutely phenomenal as well. And we really haven't seen Exiled able to make much of a break. We do have Carla rotating up towards the hard point, is going to get the kill before getting dropped from behind by Sleepyhead, who had just picked up a big triple. We do have Zygnus essentially respawning on the hard point right now, so some of those hardpoint changes coming into effect. Pred Missile going to pick up 1 for DeCarlo, who's now at 25. Irving as well, I believe, as you mentioned, I think a new pickup for this Zygnus team, also up at 25 kills, so pretty solid performance coming out of him. S-Thug, obviously been one of the top slayers in the league and continues to do so. 32 kills on the board for him. And we are now within a single hard point for Zygnus to pull through a win here.
Yeah, it looks like we will have a little bit of scrap time going in for Exiled. Roballo gets a couple frags on the kill. One player jumping in for Zygnus, somehow still alive. And DeCarla is going to get a triple kill right there. Huge feed for Zygnus. Finds one player coming up the ladder. Rehan going to be able to slide on through, does get the frag and avoid maybe a couple seconds of scrap time, but gotta think probably not super worth it, as Sleepyhead does win the first gunfight on the hill. We already have Zygnus players on the inside waiting to TO. Going to call in a cluster strike of his own, and definitely on the right side as far as zoning goes. Roballo's going to be kind of stranded on the point by himself. There's going to be an easy entry for S-Thug right here. 36 kills going in for him. The beauty of the PP-19 is you can basically pre-fire everything, and by the time you pre-fired for about 3 seconds, you still have half a magazine left. Now, obviously, coming in handy right there, 39 kills on the board, and continuing to move upward as Zygnus gets the break once again, and now only 5 seconds away from closing things out.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty easy game 1 for the side of Zygnus, and we've had some major roster changes for this team, but they've really picked up and worked together, honestly, just so incredibly well, Bobby. Again, picking up a big slayer like S-Thug for the team, has really helped out, especially kind of in the area where we've seen what was previously NL struggling in the first couple days of the season, and they have really picked things up. Exiled is a team that has a lot of potential, but just is seemingly unable to find their consistency or find some sort of groove together as a team, which can be expected out of new rosters. So, again, this is definitely a team that I look forward to seeing more out of this season. And I mean, just a great way to start off the day, Bobby. Great game to start off the day.
Yeah, that was a very solid match, especially if you are a Zygnus fan. So for people asking what happened to these players, basically Zygnus and NL have merged teams. So effectively they have a Champs Age team and an Underage team. Champs Age team is the one that you guys just saw play right now. So S-Thug, DeCarla, formerly Kimwax, Irving, Awaken, and Titio. And then the Underage team you guys will see playing later tonight. We'll go ahead and take a look at the schedule once again. Zygnus Black being the name of the Underage team. They're going to be going up against F4 in our third matchup of the night. Before that, we do have Shredded versus 11T. And following that, Tribe Gaming versus Nova Invictus. So lots on the line tonight and lots to look forward to as we do start to get in the middle of the season for Mobile Mayhem spring season. I can't call it a number anymore, and it's killing me.
I know it's definitely hard every time we have to call out what season we're in. We had such a flow going, and then we just changed it all up. But again, kind of growth of the brand, I guess, is the easiest way to put it.
Yep.
We will be getting into Search and Destroy on Raid here shortly. And just as a reminder for everybody, we do have bans on the QQ9 and the HVK. So we won't be seeing any of those.
Yep, lots of PP19s and DRHs. Game number 2 is... Hey, Cyber Gifted sub, appreciate it. Game number 2 is going to be Raid, Search, and Destroy. Following that, we will have Summit Domination. If we go to a Game 3, based on the way that one went, I don't have a very strong feeling that we'll see a Game 3, but obviously, typically, if we do see an upset, it tends to come in the Search and Destroyed. There's a lot of experienced players on this Exiled team, and we've seen them have some breakout performances. Taking a look at the standings once again, they are at 25 points. So they've been able to get a little bit. They're a little bit ahead of some of the newer teams, but there's just really, really heavy competition. I would say this is probably the tightest level of competition that we've had in a Mobile Mayhem season so far, especially from top to bottom. I believe we do also have 2 less teams, so that could account for it as well, but definitely looking to be a very tight season with the way things are shaping up right now.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a pretty solid lineup. Again, even the teams that are struggling as far as the actual standings go, they've all, even in their losses, put up phenomenal fights. So, I'm glad we're seeing more players getting into Mobile Mayhem, especially with several players who have the talent, such as, Sleepyhead and I'm Not Rehan right now for Exiled have been 2 players that really stand out, even when they don't come out on top as far as the win. Individually, they have really strong mechanics and seem to be a pretty solid set of players that the team can kind of try to balance around. Again, I think that just because it is a little bit newer of a roster, they do struggle a little bit in the team synergy, but as the season goes on and this team plays together, there's definitely a big chance for success out of them.
For sure. Just waiting for a couple players to ready up, and then we should be good to go for game number 2. Hopefully tonight's will be a little bit quicker than the matchups that we had on Tuesday night, because we finished at 10:40. That's 3 hours and 40 minutes. Not that we don't love to have 3 hours and 40 minutes of gameplay, but it can, whenever you also stream COD Mobile for 5 hours earlier in the day, it can wear on you a little bit. But Lots of big things coming for Call of Duty Mobile. We haven't had any balance changes in Season 3, but they have tweeted out that there are going to be mid-season balance changes once again. So looking forward to those. If I had to guess, probably the QQ9 going to get balanced, just because right now the strafe speed, the range, the recoil, the everything is just off the charts right now. But I would say the outside of that, the meta is in a pretty solid place, and we know there's some significant changes to snipers coming as well. So it could very well be if snipers are nerfed hard enough that players end up unbanning respawn sniping. But at the same time, if snipers are nerfed that hard that they unban it, then we probably won't see a whole lot of people doing it anyway. But I think we do have everybody readied up, and we should be good to go for game number 2 momentarily.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of peeking over at the standings, and I mean, again, it's just such a close race. I mean, by this time last season, we had 2 or 3 teams who were kind of drastically ahead of what we would have called the middle of the pack. The middle of the pack currently is like place 7, 8, and 9, which are also all very close, with Trovo Mayhem at 25, Exiled at 25, and F4 at 15. Tribe and Nova Invictus in the top 2 at 55. Shreddit 45, Zygnus 11T, and Zygnus Black all at 40. It's a pretty solid race as we get closer to the finals. I mean, we may see in the next couple of weeks some teams start to branch out more from kind of the lulled middle. But just a great season so far, Bobby.
Yeah, and we do have a different format for the actual regular season this season. So previously we had it split into divisions. And the top 3 teams from each division would move into the quarter/semifinals. But this season, everybody in one division, which I think definitely, I mean, it makes it so that you have the best possible competition at the end of the season, which ultimately is what everybody wants to see. But we got everybody loaded in, ready to go for game number 2. It looks like we are going to have Exiled on the offensive side. Rehan with a sniper in hand. Keep in mind, only 1 sniper allowed per team in Search and Destroy. Those are going to be the players that we typically want to keep an eye on off the start to see if they can find a first blood. We do have S-Thug with sniper in hand off the start as well. Rehan trying to get an angle over top of that statue area, and I think sees the laser sight from Awaken right there, but not able to get an eye on him directly. Sees his head over top of the van. Very nearly lands the snipe, but not able to make it happen quite yet. And oh my gosh, so close. Awaken actually taken out by Zealot off the start. Esther does get the trade, gets another one onto Rehan. A huge 2-piece to avenge his teammate right there. And it looks like Zygnus on the defensive, actually applying some pressure right here, is Exile currently trying to find their way out of this situation. They're at a pretty big disadvantage, and Esther just running through them right now. All 3 kills so far for Zygnus. They are on their heels. Raballo, the only player left, gets the first kill, but Irving's there for the refrag, and it will be Zygnus taking the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, this is kind of what we would expect. Again, a lot of this roster has previously come from obviously Zygnus, but also NL, which is 2 teams that have done phenomenal in Search and Destroy. So definitely expect a little bit of an edge here. We do have Awaken picking up a big triple kill for the team there. Zealot was able to pick up 1. Rehan as well does get the kill onto Awaken, making this a little bit more manageable as a 2 versus 3. But just as I say that, Tio and Irving come through, clean it up, and pick up the 2nd round for Zygnus.
Yep, Exiled still looking a little slow off the start. Only 3 players doing the majority of the work for Zygnus. S-Thug, Awaken, Irving with 3 kills apiece, but with only 4 kills on the board for Exiled off the start. Looks like nobody having too rough of a time for it if you are on Team Zygnus. We do see Rehan pushing up, trying to find one of those first bloods. Got somebody on the inside of Bank Room, not quite able to land those shots, and Awaken Finding first blood once again onto Sleepyhead. We do find Exiled with a disadvantage. Rihan not able to hit the snipe in the bank room. Xfall is able to get that frag, and definitely a much needed one. We now have Rihan getting shot from multiple directions. What a shot onto Irving. They needed that badly, but he's still got 3 players to contend with and not going to be able to do anything about it. He gets taken out. It is Zygnus moving up to the 3-0 lead.
Yeah, while we see signs of life here and there coming out of Exiled, it is mostly Zygnus in control the whole time. And a lot of this, again, is what I've been mentioning all season long, Bobby, is this rule setup that we have specifically gives advantage to the team that has better team synergy, and so far that has been Zygnus. They're doing much better watching and covering each other's angles as they make the rotation up. They're doing a great job checking their corners as we push through the map as well. And we just don't see as tight of a unit coming out of the side of Exiled. There's a lot of gaps in their rotation that has really made them suffer quite a bit. Rihan does pick up a kill onto S-Thug there, and Sleepyhead finds Awaken. That might be the trade that they need, as that has moved us into a 3 versus 2. But just as I say that, Tatio and DeCarla turn that advantage around quickly, and it's now Sleepyhead who has primarily been kind of the strongest player on this team, but apparently not strong enough to win the gunfight against Tatio. 4-0 lead now for Zygnus. Potentially could be looking at a clean sweep.
Yeah, that would be an early end to game number 1, as it looks like Exile at this point is just going to struggle to get a round win in Search and Destroy. They seem pretty insistent on making the A push, even though it hasn't really worked a whole lot for them so far. See if they can maybe make some adjustments and potentially find a frag. Irving actually had the angle on Sleepyhead right there. Not going to take any shots, but it's DeCarla getting the first blood once again. Zygnus finding that, I believe, every round so far. And I think there was one round where they didn't, and it ended up being a 2-piece as a trade. So S-Thug with what looked to be an easy opportunity finally lands the shot onto Sleepyhead. 4 players drop, make it 5 players drop. S-Thug lands another snipe, and it is now 5-0, 1 round away from closing out the 2-0 sweep.
I mean, it's hard to describe what's going on here besides just utter domination by the side of Zygnus. Again, look at the rotation. Look how hard pressed they are as a team, watching each other's angles, rotating together up, pushing through the smokes. Just really, really phenomenal play. And now with them on attack and what looks to be a basically 30-second bomb plant, 25-second bomb plant here. All 5 members alive. As I say, that Sleepyhead does find one, making this a little bit more manageable. Rihan actually finds DeCarla as well. Irving gonna get the return kill, but this might actually be a chance for Exiled to extend this game a little bit. It would be a long, hard-fought 6 rounds if they wanted to make the comeback, but this is the first step, taking this round back. Awaken has picked the kill on Zella and Sleepyhead. There is plenty of time for Xfall to get this defused, and they'll at least stop a little bit of the momentum that had Zygnus going. But again, it's another 5 rounds in a row that they would need to make this comeback.
Not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried there because I saw Awaken slide right in front of Xfall, and he got the kill without taking any shots, and I thought they were gonna somehow throw the 1v3, but they're able to keep it alive, and we do manage to avoid the sweep and avoid the match sweep, at least for now. We'll see if being on the defensive side is what ends up being the game changer for Exiled. We do tend to see that for a lot of teams, feeling a lot more confident on one side or the other. It's a full B push right here, which Exiled is definitely not prepared for, but we did see them get a 5-man retake the last round, and we'll see if they can make it happen again. Rihan gonna go up to, I believe, Laundry right here. He actually finds Awaken trying to hit a hop up, but he's gonna go ahead and retreat. What a shot by Rihan. That is absolutely what they needed to open up the round. OBS Studio has decided to disconnect. You'll love to see it, but we're back. And we get the push on into the site. Zygnus dropping left and right. Esta gonna find a 2-piece right there. He needs to make it a 3-piece, but Rabalo says not today. 2 rounds in a row gonna go on in for Exiled.
Yeah, again, they absolutely can pull this together. not this Zygnus lineup, but Zygnus, essentially what is mostly Zygnus Black. There was, obviously we had S-Thug on Zygnus at the time, but Exile did essentially pull off a reverse sweep against Zygnus Black previously, so we know this team is capable of pulling together search and destroy wins. And they have massively stepped it up the last couple rounds, specifically looking at I'm Not Rihan, who has been able to find some pretty solid opening picks for the team. We do have a strong A-side push once again from Zygnus. They are going to get the bomb plant, and it will be a 5 versus 5 as the TO just barely makes it out alive. DeCarlo picks up a kill onto Sleepyhead there.
Yeah,
And,
so far
this is not looking great for Exile Base.
Yeah, I was going to say the 5-man retakes had been good, and Rihan's going to hit a nice snipe there, but it's not going to be enough to save his team, and it will be Zygnus coming out on top 2-0 in game number 1. Despite dropping a couple rounds on the offensive side, pretty seamlessly taking care of Exiled.
It's a draw. Stand down.
Yeah, I mean, Exiled, again, showed signs of life, but the consistency just wasn't there in their rotations together as a team. We saw it both on offense and on defense. There was definitely some, I guess the easiest way to put it is just some sloppy angles that they decided to peak at wrong times. Again, it didn't really work as a team to be checking corners together. And a lot of that can be seen in, well, I mean, I guess both teams really have a lot of lack of assists, but consistently for the side of Exiled, just on my notes that I have, they don't tend to have higher assist numbers like other teams do. Again, this season specifically is going to boil down to the end of which team works together the best. So that's something that they really need to be doing in their off time, is practicing, working on their call-outs. I don't know. We didn't really do a listen-in, so I don't know if they have a designated shot caller as of current, but that's definitely something that we can hopefully do for them when we see them next time, because we should definitely try to do more listen-ins, but it is neither here nor there, as we do have Zygnus picking up the 2-0 win, and that is going to be 20 points for them, which will temporarily push them up into first place. Dependent on how the rest of tonight goes, we may or may not see them continue to hold that first place.
Yep. Coming up next, we are going to have Shreddit versus 11T. So both of these teams, nice and smack dab in the middle of the pack for the top 6 right now. Shreddit had a hot start to the season, but they were going up against a couple of teams that you'll see at the bottom of the leaderboard right now. So they did end up losing their match on Tuesday. We'll see how they do up against 11T, who actually ended up forfeiting or DQing their final game on Tuesday as a result of one of their players accidentally calling in a VTOL, which I will definitely say is one of the more painful ways to lose a game of Call of Duty Mobile. So definitely a lot to prove for them. Taking a look at the standings once again, we do currently have Shreddit at 45, 11T right behind them with 40, so no doubt these are going to be two teams that are battling it out for one of those top spots. Shreddit definitely surprised a lot of people with their early performances, and despite their loss on Tuesday, definitely looking to bounce back. We're going to go ahead and run an ad real quick, and once we do that, hopefully we'll have some more people loaded in and a little bit closer to getting started with Game 2. Alright, we are back, and even though Game 1 ended early, looks like everybody's getting loaded in quickly, which you do love to see. Always trying to minimize that time in between games. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us.
We are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to subscribe or follow based on whatever platform that you're on. Keep in mind, Mobile Mayhem is sponsored by Trovo, so if you want to go show Trovo some support, we are live at the exact same time, but in higher quality over at trovo.live/BobbyPlays. But we do have our teams getting loaded in. Ooh, and somebody that we have not seen in a hot minute. It looks like there's a new member for Shreddit, and that is Asta, who I believe played formerly for Arsenal, if I'm remembering correctly.
I was
correct on
that
that
was so long ago, Bobby.
Admins?
Definitely a repeat player in Mobile Mayhem, and
I was
Splinter
right.
is confirming that is an old Arsenal player. So
Big Brain Bobby.
Primal and Arsenal, Zim says. So Arsenal, I know we.
Who the frick is Primal? There has never been a team named Primal in Mobile Mayhem, at least not in the regular season. Is one of Meralto's qualifier teams. Gotcha. I'm assuming that was one of the. Oh. Gotcha. Well, definitely an interesting pickup for Shreddit. Obviously, we will probably continue to see some of these teams shift around as more and more teams are trying to make their way into the competitive scene with the announcement of the $2 million COD Mobile Championship, which is going to be taking off June 3rd, around the start of season number 4. So lots to look forward to on that end. Lots of things going on. We are pretty close to getting everything loaded in right here. Just waiting on a couple more players, and we should be good to go for game 2.
Yeah, I definitely think this will be a good one. Justabat and Salai specifically have been two incredible players here on the side of Shreddit. We've definitely seen some good games out of Jason and Ufer, but little less consistent than Justabat and Salai, in my opinion. And Asta, we obviously haven't seen in a little bit, but a player that we definitely know to have quite a bit of talent from just past seasons. So definitely a strong pickup for them. I'm unsure if he was a tablet or a phone player in the past. I know many players were on tablet back then just because, well, in general, it is a little bit more of a easy device to play on, comparatively speaking. But 11T have really had a strong season so far. These teams are very close in the middle of the pack, but in my opinion, 11T have had a much tougher set of matches, having gone up against Leave, Mayhem, and Exiled, and they beat Exiled, who Shreddit lost to last week. So definitely a exciting one ahead of us. I believe 11T faced F4 on Tuesday, so just marginally a tougher set of matchups, but again, we have a little bit more experience with the 11T roster. This is a team roster that for the most part has been together for a while. We did have the pickup of Danny, Gogu, and Diego for this roster. No Parka this season, so gotta say, gonna miss that one. As well as Wally from Tuesday, but
Day, do you have the spreadsheet with the KDs and stuff? Huh?
Yes and no.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm still plugging formulas, but I do have it.
All right, we'll have to take a look at that sometime in the near future, but we do.
You should actually have access to it.
Yeah, I was trying to find the link and I couldn't see it.
Okay.
I might be.
I'll get it to you.
All right. We are good to go for match number 2 to get started. Just waiting for one more Shreddit player to load in, and we'll be good. That is correct. Xset is not currently in Call of Duty. Well, in Mobile Mayhem at least. we could see them make a return at some point in the future, but we are now underway. I forgot to take a look at the maps and the bans real quick. Let me go ahead and check. We got a ban on the HVK and the QXR. Oh, wow. So this is going to be just absolute mayhem. It's the QQ9 and the PP19, both not banned for this matchup. It looks like one team's running all PP19 and one team is running all QQ9. So this, I mean, that's like the ultimate battle. Time to see which gun is better.
Yeah, definitely one way to look at it. I mean, you definitely have, I would say, a little bit faster of kill potential with the QQ9, but you also run out of bullets a lot faster. So kind of two things to balance. If you are able to, especially if you're able to get the first shot out with the PP19, you have a lot more potential for follow-up kills. So in a respawn mode, especially 2021 hardpoint, where the spawns are typically speaking a lot closer, those extra bullets may lend a little bit more favor than the extra little bit of bullet damage. We do have Just making a rotation over, but does get dropped as Just about picks up a double kill there. And off to a good start, Shreddit R. Jason, 5 kills on the board for him already, just about finding his 5th as well. And so far, we do have Shreddit control.
Yeah, Diego off to a slow start for 11D, probably counting for their lack of control so far, and Jason really going in right now. 7 kills on the board. And Asta finds one frag right there, not able to find the follow-up, Just trying to make the push on into the backside. Asta says not today. Teammate holding down that angle as well. Zai's going to get spotted. Now 5 kills on the board. Danny going to slide on through. He'll get the frag, but Yuji will not. Regardless, it will be point control for 11T as Just now looking to make the push in. Does get kill number 1, not able to follow it up. One player for Shreddit in top of stairs. It's Salai, who was huge for them in the hard point on Tuesday. It does look like it's going to be a solid Shreddit lead off the start, which, to be honest, I don't think many people expected, especially with the amount of experience that we have on this 11D team, but their rotations have been clean. They're winning their gunfights. They're doing everything that they need to right now. And Shreddit looking really, really good through the first 3 hard points.
Yeah, they're actually doing a lot better than I would have expected. I mean, again, this is a team that I have said really has a lot of skill and a lot of potential if they're able to refine some of their synergy. And they are having just a great game right now up against, what I arguably would have considered to be one of the better teams in this season. I mean, I do have to say we obviously don't have the initial 11T lineup, but even that aside, Shreddit are playing really strongly in their rotations. We actually do have 11T looking like they're going to even things up here. But man, we haven't really seen Jason have this big of a breakout performance for this team so far, and he's up at 12 kills, competing with the likes of Just, another star player on the side of 11T. So great start for Jason. He barely lives there after picking up a kill, and with a 2-point lead, 11T will get the first control of P4 here, and does look like we have Shreddit regrouped, trying to make the rotation over. Unfortunately, Jason, the one player that didn't really get to spawn with the team there, was left a little bit hung out to dry. But we have 11T making a little bit of a comeback at this point.
Yeah, they were able to get the break on the initial hill, which definitely accounted for a lot of what we're seeing right now. Standoff, definitely one of the maps that is least affected by the new spawns in hardpoint, so probably a reason that a lot of these teams are electing to continue to play it. I know that I've heard a lot of the pro players complain about the new spawns, but obviously what they're doing right now is just trying to mitigate the changes as much as possible, and it looks like we've got a pretty even game as we do head back into P1 right here. Shreddit was able to get the break and get a pretty decent amount of time on the hill. We do see a setup for 11T already, and Danny going to win, or actually Diego going to win a really big gunfight right there. He's going to get taken out by Asta on the front side of the hard point. Just absolute chaos in all directions right now as Zai's trying to get the push in. But right now, Shreddit looking really good, especially on the scoreboard side of things. We got Asta with 14, Justabot with 16, Jason with 15. Despite the kill dominance, not really a huge lead as we do see 11T getting the break once again. Salai taking out by a nade, and somehow still able to get hill control.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't sleep on Shreddit. Asta having a great opening performance here for this team. He's up at 15 kills as well. Justabot as well has picked it up pretty drastically. 18 kills on the board for him. We do have one score streak available, and that is Justabot has a Pred missile and has smartly put on the care package as well. We won't see any accidents there. Justabot picks up one kill onto Zai, while Salai picks up a double. Justabot finding another kill as well. Looks like he might be working on a cluster, if I'm seeing this correct, but he is gonna get dropped there. Zai picking up a strong double kill. Yuji finding the third for the team. Man, so close. 118 to 119 on the board, Bobby. This has been a great start of this hardpoint game between these two teams. I mean, again, I would have given 11T the edge, but Shreddit are really fighting for it and are putting the effort in to show that they can earn it.
Yeah, they've had a really good hold on P2 right here. They've had it for just about the entire time. We do see the contest going in right now, as we've actually got Shredded players already setting up for P3. So they're in a really good spot. They're going to give up a tad bit of scrap time, but setting themselves up for success right here, as they've already got 4 players pushed out and ready to go on P3. Yuji looking to make the push in. I'm not sure what Justabot was looking right there. It looked like he had the angle to be able to see them, but not able to take the shots. Regardless, we do have Shredded with hill control. One player pushing up top is actually going to be an 11D player who's going to drop down right here. And they will continue to own this hard point and tick upwards. Justabot set up on the stairs, but the Peaker's advantage goes the way of Diego. Asta comes in, gets the refrag, and they have control still. As this Shredded team looking really, really strong. 3 players at 20+ kills. Only 1 player there for 11T, as they do finally get the contest and the break. But pretty decent amount of time going in for Shredded on this hill already.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the Shredded team has improved day after day. It's really great to see. They have several players really, really putting up big numbers right now. We have 1 player, or 2 players now, as Just picked up a kill there, that have 20 kills on the side of 11T, and 4 on the side of Shredded. So really, really great performance. Keeping this tight game as Justabot finds a 3-piece there. 159 to 159. We do have Shredded opening control here on to the bakery. Justabot just absolutely being a mad slayer right now. He's about 150 points away from a...
Gosh.
Oh.
Justabot is shredding right now. And that's the thing about putting the QQ9 up against the PP19. Yes, you are able to take more consecutive gunfights with the PP19, but if you don't win the first gunfight, then it doesn't really matter. And that's what Justabot shows you right there. Now 33 kills on the board, and still a pretty good amount of time left to play out this game. Yuji is going to be able to win the gunfight, and it's going to be a crucial one. He's now got 27 on the board to lead his team, make it 28. Asta's going to push in. We'll be able to get the refrag trades left and right. 11, he's got hill control. Still only 8 points separating these two teams, and it's going to be even closer as we get ready to head back on over to P1. Justabot continuing to shred. He's going to take out Just. So many 2-pieces going in for him, as he is just an absolute laser beam with that QQ9. And this is not like the QQ9 is the thing that's saving him right now. He's been an SMG primary player for the entirety of the season, usually using the QXR. So we know he can do it with pretty much everything, and showing us just how good he is right now. But regardless, it is 11 with hill control, now close to a 20-point lead, which is honestly one of the biggest leads that we've seen all game long. Just about trying to get the break on in, is able to get a frag with the nade, follows it up with the gun kill, follows it up with another gun kill, doing everything he possibly can, but just is there. 11T not able to get the break back. I take it back, they get the break, and they're going to now have a 30-point lead as we do see Shreddit players going ahead, getting ready to set up for P2.
Yeah, and Shreddit have made a great rotation over. They pick up a couple kills there, specifically onto Yuji and Zai. So, big targets to take down. Yuji, the only player on the side of 11T, breaking into 30 kills. He's sitting at 31. And we do have a little bit of a break made by 11T here, holding down some time on the point. They could potentially close this one out. Only about 15 points to go for them to close it out. Yuji getting the long-range kill onto Ufer there. That is a pretty nice point of the PP-19. Is it actually has surprisingly solid range for a submachine gun, as well as the recoil at a distance.
Yeah, solid range, and it basically
well.
has no recoil at all. It's just a freaking laser beam.
It almost, it's definitely lacks a little bit comparatively in the upfront bullet damage department, but again, we've seen it in several instances. Maybe this isn't the best game to showcase it, but we've seen several times where it's led to just multiple kills without having to reload. As you mentioned, 64 bullets in the chamber there. So if the gun skills there, both of these teams currently within a single full hardpoint hold to pull out a win, but it does look like 11T are starting to close it out. 245 on the board for them, about a 50-point lead. We do have a slight break for Shreddit there. 11T did start to make the rotation up, but unable to get the break that they need. They do have a whole team starting to rotate in, and I think that might be the nail in the coffin as 11T pulled together the 49-point lead in a... the games just get better and better, Bobby.
Yeah.
That was absolutely phenomenal. I expected 11T to win this. I didn't expect it to be as close. So again, Shreddit have done a phenomenal job of stepping up their gameplay week to week. This was a much more consistent Shreddit than we've seen, as well as the addition of Asta working out quite well for them. Not top fragging for the team, but for a first day performance up against a team like 11T, I really can't complain too much. Didn't go negative, went net positive at 29, 26, and 10 with a minute 46 on the objective for him. So solid plays, good way to open the season for him. But 11T do find the edge this time around.
I think I may have had a crash for my game loop right there, so didn't get to see the final KD. Should be back in the lobby momentarily. To be honest, I thought Shreddit was going to pull off something crazy right there, but unfortunately for them, I don't think they had many, if any, trophy systems, and Jusabot was, or who I think actually might have been Salai, was just sitting on the hill, and there was like a freaking wave of grenades that came flooding through the window, and when that happens, you don't have a trophy system, there's just not a whole lot you can do about it. But that was a phenomenal performance for both teams, and honestly, I think in the kill department, Shreddit may have actually had the edge, but 11T
I'm actually sending it to you right now, Bobby.
11T was too clean, with their breaks. And it looks like we are going to get loaded back in right here. Let's see.
Oh, did that? Something dumb?
Can I open a JFIF? Yes, I can. Awesome. All right. Yeah, definitely a really solid game for Shreddit. Only 2 players went negative, so...
I don't know why I saved it like that.
But obviously, hill time for Danny was really big right there. 2 minutes and 7 seconds, alongside Just with a minute, and Diego with a minute 16. But definitely,
Just about 42 and 27 though was absolutely killing it that game.
Definitely looking forward to game number 2 because I feel like Shreddit could definitely pull out something crazy and push this to a game 3.
Absolutely could. Again, they've improved game after game. This seems like a pretty drastic improvement from the end of last week, or even just Tuesday of this week. I mean, this team has really massively stepped it up. I gotta say, I'm proud of these guys. Absolutely proud of these guys.
Yeah, especially for a new team, for them to be performing at this level is definitely really impressive. So I'm excited to see how they continue to improve throughout the season. I'm trying to think, who's the sniper primary for Shreddit?
I think it was Time previously, but I could be wrong on that. I know Vibin snipes a little bit, but he hasn't been in all of the games, first of all, and I don't think he sniped for them either way.
Put YouTube in slow.
I
YouTube's not.
Guess we're about to find out.
Why is YouTube not defaulting to slow mode? What's the dealio, YouTube? Sorry, Dave. I don't know why it's doing that. Wait, wrong setting. All right, YouTube's in slow mode now. Everyone type yay. It's waiting for one more player to ready up, and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the maps and bans real quick, just because we didn't run through that before game 1. But we do have raid, search, and destroy for game number 2. And if we go to a game 3, it's gonna be firing range domination, like I said. The weapon bans being the HVK and the QXR. Shreddit banning domination on raid, definitely interesting. 11D banning domination on Hackney Yard, also very interesting. So no hard point bans, which is what we typically tend to see from these teams, but we'll see how this one pans out. I believe that was actually the exact same map pool as we had for our first matchup as well.
I believe so. Actually, yeah, that should be confirmed. I believe I saw Zim and B talking about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Just happens sometimes, I guess.
All right. Looks like we got everybody ready up. So once we go to our screenshots,
We're waiting on Jessabot.
All right.
We'll get you guys in as soon as we can. For the Shreddit roster, so far our top search and destroy players has obviously been Jessabot has been an absolute madman in pretty much every game that they've played. But as well, we've seen Time in the past really kind of stick out for them, specifically in search and destroy. Tuesday of last week was able to put up 8 and 3 for him. And then in their matchup on Thursday, one of the top frags on the team in a difficult matchup, 5 and 7 for him there. So maybe a little bit of a hindrance for them to not have him this time around. But Ufer has had some back and forth search and destroy games as well. Started off really strong, 7 kills on our first day of the season, 7 kills on the second, and 6 on Thursday the 15th. So been a pretty solid search and destroy player for him as well. And again, they keep improving, so this could be a big opportunity for them to push us to a game 3, potentially pull what I would consider to be an upset between these two teams out of the hat. So we'll have to see as we move forward. Obviously, for 11T, previously we would have been looking at the likes of Wiru to be their kind of anchor for search and destroy, and we are not seeing him today. And just to throw out the kind of numbers Wiru's been able to put up, and them missing him, 7 deaths but 10 kills in the first week for him. Only member of the team to push into double digits. Yuji was not far behind at 8 and 7. They had a bye on Tuesday of week 2. So pretty big miss for the side of 11T currently, if you ask me.
Yep, for sure. It looks like we are underway and ready to go. Jason with the sniper in hand for Shred It. And obviously Zai, the go-to sniper for 11. We actually got Salai hiding in kitchen right there. That's going to get him a big first blood alongside Justabot as he looks to make the push on in. Not going to be able to land the shots, but Asa's got his back. It is going to be Shred It with 3 players dropping off the start. Just able to regen as well. He's got the bomb in hand. Gonna go for the plant over on the A site, and Justabot capitalizing on the ADS movement speed of the QQ9 in that you can basically walk as quickly as you can ADS move, and it's going to be an easy round win for 11 right there. Only 2 players drop for them in total. And definitely looking a lot stronger there than they did in the S&D, or in the hardpoint.
I believe the term you were looking there, Bobby, is strafe speed.
Strafe, yes, strafe, yes, walk strafe. There we go. Yep.
Does look like we are going to have Jason being the primary sniper for Shred It, so I'm definitely going to have to throw that in my notes because now that we see it, I do remember that. Zai going to pick up a huge kill onto Justabot. Normally that would be huge for the side of 11T, but so far the rest of the team has fallen apart a little bit. Yuji now the last alive, up against 3 remaining members of Shred It. Sounds like Jason, or looks like Jason, is able to hear Yuji making that rotation up, and is going to make that call out to his team. Yuji does need to get a bomb or 3 kills here, and it looks like Shred It know well enough where the bomb is. They've set up their defense. Yuji is making that rotation through mid, but gonna have to be careful, as again, Jason does have a sniper available, unless it looks like he picked up the QQ9. And,
Wait. Oh, I thought, for some reason, my screen showed that Yuji had stuck the grenade to the wall in front of him. I was like, oh, that's not gonna end well, but apparently it went
a
over
little
to
bit of
Lambo.
desync there.
Yeah, not really a whole lot of time to work with, and even if he had been able to get the bomb, don't think he would have had enough time to make anything out of it, as definitely Shred It a lot more in control that round, finding the first bloods, basically dictating the pace of the game as they were able to control everything that they needed to over on the B side with bomb down. 1 second, I gotta seize you, commentator.
Yeah, take your time, Bobby, as we do get into round 3 of Shred It versus 11T. We are joined by the famous Sylvia Renee in chat. Make sure everybody says hi and is nice to Sylvia. But we do have a quick bomb plant coming out of the side of 11T. Everybody's still alive, so this is a 5 versus 5 in which Shred It need to find enough kills to get them a defuse here in the next 35 seconds. 11T are starting to clean things up. Zai is going to find Jason through the wall there, and bouncing back from a little bit rough of a round. That is a clean sweep round for the side of 11T. 5 kills and no deaths. So strong performance out of them. Specifically looking at Zai and Just with 4 and 5 kills respectively. Yuji with 2, Danny Gogu with 1, and Diego unable to find a kill so far. But that obviously can change in a heartbeat. We do have a couple trades coming in there. Justabot picking up a kill. Jason as well, finding the kill onto Danny Gogu. It's a big opportunity for Shred It to once again tie things up. Justabot finds Diego, and it is now a 4 versus 2 in favor of Shred It. They have a bomb down on the pool side, and they will likely be looking to just go ahead and get that defense set up. Jason is going to find Zai. It's now just Yuji against the world. Don't know if he's going to be able to make the rotation over and get the bomb with where it's at. Does find a kill onto Jason that is going to reveal him a little bit, and Justabot with a perfectly cooked frag going to find the kill.
It looks like currently Cyber and Sylvia are having a gifted sub off, so I appreciate it. Thank you for all the gifted subs. That is going to be Shred It tying things up at 2-2 right there, as it looks like we're going to once again have a pretty even matchup. Still waiting for Jason to heat up, but finding a crucial frag for them right there. Zai, obviously, as always, playing a really big role for 11T, as we do have Just getting first blooded off the start. Danny Gogu going to get taken out as well. Jason's starting to heat up. It's trying to wallbang. I didn't even know you could wallbang that well, but that's actually very big brain. Yuji's going to peek right there. Jason playing very, very risky. Typically, you'll see snipers play closer to the bomb so they can work the head glitch, but a little bit overexposed regardless. Still 4 teammates alive, and Zai left to clutch what looks to be a nearly impossible 1v4 right here. He's going to go ahead and take some shots. Doesn't really have a whole lot to work with, and just like that, Shredit's going to take the lead at 3-2.
Shredit putting up a great fight here today against a really strong team. So, you know, again, I'm really proud of these guys. Jusabot specifically, an absolute monster. 7 kills on the board for him. Has been doing a great job of shutting it down the side of 11T. We do have, obviously, the sides flipping here. We have 11T looking to have a couple players make the A side defense, but Asta is able to pick up a kill onto Zai. That is going to take away the primary sniper for the side of 11T. He's going to make some of those cross mid rotations a little bit safer. Just about continuing the carnage. Kill onto Yuji as well. Diego looking for his first on the board. Gets kill onto Ufer. Fly gets kill onto Danny as well. A couple trades back and forth is going to result in a 3 versus 2 in favor of Shredit, who are kind of on the road to potentially pushing us to a game 3 between these two teams.
And I'm not sure how I feel about that move from Salai. He has the QQ9 in hand. Instead, pulls out the Deagle to try to see if he can get a one-tap to the head. And because of it, he dies and doesn't even land a single shot. I get the idea of it, but actually trying to hit a one-shot Deagle shot in a game of Call of Duty, just not a super reliable idea, especially when you got high ground and a head glitch to work with. But fortunately for him, his teammate Asta going to be able to clean things up right there, wins his 1v1, and Shredit extending their lead a little bit right here as we move to 4-2.
Yeah, again, they are well in a position that they could push us into a game 3. Just about continuing to lead the team, only picking up 1 kill that round. So, I mean, again, showing that the rest of the team is here to pull their weight as well. Zai is going to get the better half of Jason this time around. So, the first pick on an enemy sniper is going to go over to 11T. Again, that does open up some safer long-range mid-rotations. 11T answering back strong, finding kill after kill right now. Just is barely going to survive there. Just kidding. He is going to get dropped by Jusabot. And Yuji just barely survives as well. Jusabot now running away with just a couple points of HP. Excellent ninja move here. Lays down in the smoke. I can't believe he's alive right now. What is this? This kid's a madman?
His brain is massive. I mean, he just juked their entire team. Because of that, he's able to go get the bomb right here. It looks like maybe unfortunate timing. But,
no.
He had the advantage, but Yuji had the QQ9, and sometimes that's what you need. As we do have, unfortunately, I would have loved this. If he would have clutched that, that would have been one of the craziest big brain plays that I'd ever seen. And honestly, even the smoke play, definitely not a bad move. But my gosh, that was nearly a Houdini in Call of Duty mobile moment type there.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal plays coming out of Jusabot. Unable to clutch the round, but giving us something fun to watch one way or another. Diego down at 3 kills, but picks up a really important one there, getting the early kill onto Jusabot. This opens up a huge window for 11T to pull together a tie, but as I say that, we got a couple kills going over to Shredit. They now lead 3 versus 2, make that a 2 versus 2, as Danny Gogu finds kill number 2 onto Asta. We do have a bomb plant coming out of Ufer. Yuji, 8 kills on the board. Danny Gogu, 3rd kill picked up here onto Ufer. It's now just Jason against the remaining members of 11T, and this is a huge opportunity for them to tie things up. And with plenty of time on the clock, Danny Gogu, who had 1 kill at the beginning of this round, finds 3 kills and a bomb defuse, clutching up when the team needed him.
Yep. It looked like Shreddit might be able to run away with this one, but it looks like once again things are going to come down to the wire as we are tied up 4-4. Both of these teams going at it back and forth nonstop. Take a look at one of our snipers, see if Jason's able to get a first blood right here. We do have Zai waiting up top. He's got a nade. Not going to be able to get it to land. It's a pretty passive, slow push toward A for Shreddit right here. We do have Zai working that basketball court head glitch and actually spots one player right there. Not able to land the shot onto Jason, but hits the follow-up. Diego finds the shot onto Ufer as well, and that's what they needed. Another going in. Things are falling apart for Shreddit right here. Justabot left all by himself once again, and it looks like he is actually lagging in spawn right now, so definitely a less than ideal situation for them, and if I had to guess, probably the round going to end soon. Hopefully he's able to regain connection pretty soon here, because with the way that he's been playing all game long, you definitely would love for him to be at his best trying to go up against this 11D team and see if they can close something out, but it does look like he's going to be lagging his way through the rest of the round. We did just get the message that he reconnected to the game, so might be able to make a move, but not enough time to get a plant one way or another.
I don't know. On my screen, he's just not moving at all.
Oh, yeah, he's not. He just keeps connecting and reconnecting, disconnecting, finally taken out by Just.
Lost that round, but it's
Well, a little bit unfortunate that that's the way he had to go down that round, especially after having such a phenomenal game. But 11T are on their final round if they're able to pull off the comeback here. Looks like Justabot's still lagging quite a bit. That's major unfortunate for the side of Shreddit. Oh man, that's rough. Definitely their strongest player. So being down him is a huge detriment right now. We do have Yuji, Just, and Zai 9, 9, and 8 kills respectively to match Justabot on the side of Shreddit. So that just goes to show how much he's really kept his team in the game this time around. Gonna get dropped by Yuji there. Not a great position to be in. It is a 4 versus 4. We do have the bomb plant coming out of Ufer here. Some bullets are flying, but nobody is dropping here. Zai does find the kill onto Jason. Zai does get killed by Ufer, though. This is back and forth. Just as I say that, 11T come through with a couple kills. It's now Ufer alone versus 2 members. Yuji gonna find the kill onto Ufer, and that's gonna be the end of a 2-0 victory. The comeback coming out of 11T there.
Yeah, a little bit of body shooting for Yuji right there. I think we did see Salai teabagging a body on the inside of red right there, so nothing a little toxicity can't fix, but we do have 11D coming out on top in both games 1 and 2, and that means that we've got 2-0 games to get us started for the night, as we do have 11D coming out on top right there, just top fragging. 10 kills on the board. Actually, most points. Yuji coming away with 11 and 5, going double positive. Great performance for him. Definitely not a bad performance for Shreddit in either game. Obviously, having Justabot, who's been your #1 player all season long, for him to be disconnecting and reconnecting like that in the final few rounds of a Search and Destroy is just tough to see, because you really would have liked to see these two teams going up against each other with everybody at their best. But also we'll have more opportunities later in the season. You got to give big credit for 11D playing the way they did. Very consistent. They did what they needed to get it done. And they will take the 20 points in the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big game for both of these teams. And again, Shreddit, even though they took the loss here, and this is how a lot of the losses have looked this season, even though they took the loss, it was a great fight down to the end. So I can't complain about their performance here. They're a team that's continuously improving. Justabot, definitely a star player this season, not just for this team, but in the entire tournament. So definitely a player to keep your eye out on. But that's going to move us into our game 3, which is going to be Cygnus Black up against F4. Another team that, while they've struggled a little bit to find wins, they've definitely put up great fights. In fact, they pushed us to a game 3 up against Cygnus Esports on Tuesday, and actually were able to win that matchup. There was a unfortunate DQ by Cygnus Elite in Wally not listening and accidentally pulling out a VTOL, but it happens. I don't think it necessarily hurts Cygnus Esports' chances at all of making it to the finals. They're playing phenomenal this season, but even then, even though it was a DQ win, again, they pushed us to game 3 against one of the stronger teams, in my opinion, and put up a great fight in specifically the first half of the domination as well. Towards the last minute or so of the first half, it definitely started to slip away from them as Cygnus Esports really started to take off, and then the second half was definitely quite punishing. But again, overall, great performance out of them last week, and they are up against Cygnus Black, so what would be like kind of considered the secondary roster to Cygnus. I definitely don't, I definitely don't sleep on any of these players. They're all phenomenal players. So, Fish, I believe last season won all of the awards, so definitely a big one for him. They've obviously picked up Washi as well. Washi has been a great player, so definitely a exciting matchup ahead of us.
Yep. Yeah, so some interesting moves. So I don't think that we had Cygnus Black playing on Tuesday, correct?
Let me double check. Tuesday, week 3. Cygnus Black played against Exiled on Tuesday.
Okay.
No, hold on, no. That's the wrong week. Yes, they did have a bye last week as well as Tribe.
Okay. So definitely, this is our first time actually seeing the Cygnus Black roster. And one thing that definitely sticks out for me, obviously, we do have Fish over here, so you would assume probably Fish, an underage player. He wasn't on the Infinix team that played in Champs, joined them after Champs happened, so that makes a little bit of sense. But we also have Saxy over here, and Saxy played for Nova in Champs of 2020, so a little bit surprised to see him on their underage team. He could potentially be a substitute player for Champs whenever they get to it, or maybe something else going on, but definitely not a player that I expected to see on this roster. We do, as I expected, also have Raven over here, so assuming he's probably an underage player that was playing for NL Esports, and then the last player is going to be Cygnus Teabag joining the room. Is that a player that we've seen before?
No, but I believe he's been on the roster since day 1.
Okay. Well, that is definitely a new player that will be interested to see what type of role he plays for this team. Obviously, they're going up against F4, who did get the win against 11D on Tuesday. Now, keep in mind, it was a win as a result of a DQ, so take it with a grain of salt, but still.
They put up a great fight. I mean, again, they won because of a DQ, but they put up a great fight to the end. So,
yeah, for sure.
You could say they didn't earn it because it was a DQ, but the step up that they had was pretty phenomenal. And again, a lot of these teams that have a lot of players that we were unfamiliar with struggled a little bit as far as getting points on the board, but the games, even though they lost, have been honestly closer than we expected. Specifically on this F4 lineup, we're going to be looking at 4 Minwoo and AO Raf have been arguably the most consistent players on this team. I would also put Scope Loves You in there, but he is not playing with them currently. So that is a little bit of a hindrance for them. And then looking at the Cygnus lineup, like I mentioned, obviously looking at the likes of Fish, Washi, Saxy, and Raven as well, coming off of the old NL team. So this is no team to sleep on by any means.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be... They could be deadly, especially if they get some team chemistry going and everything else. They've got a lot of potential, I would say, to make some noise, especially in regards to the standings. They're not very far back at all. As we look right here, obviously, this is going to be slightly different because some of these teams have already played tonight. So Tribe and Nova Invictus have not yet played tonight, and we do have... in this matchup, F4 going up against Cygnus Black. So Cygnus Black could very well move into a tie for first place if they're able to get the 2-0 win. Not to talk bad about F4, but they definitely still have some work to do, and especially with the amount of talent on this roster, definitely a very real possibility. And honestly, if we have a 2-1 win in the, like, going either way for the Tribe Gaming versus Nova Invictus game, if we have that happen alongside Cygnus Black getting a 2-0, we would actually have 4 different teams tied at 60 points leaving tonight, which will definitely make for a very interesting mid to late season. I believe we do have all of our players loaded in and ready to go, so whenever we get those screenshots submitted, we should be good to start.
And it looks like we are getting into the game. So this previously would have been arguably the best map for Cygnus Black when they had S-Thug. For some reason, S-Thug just absolutely pops off on this map specifically, so it may be a little bit of a hindrance for them to be missing him. But again, with the pickup of Washi and Fish and Saxy for this lineup, I don't really see them having too rough of a time. I mean, again, F4 has been a strong competitor, even though they're sitting pretty low in the standings right now. They're another one of those teams that has seemingly just advanced and gotten better week to week. So definitely some big roster changes, and definitely a lot of potential for this roster with the names that they have. And right now, they are up 18-7 with they just lost control there, but looks like they might be getting ready to regain it. We do have a couple players rotating in. Washi finding the double kill, picks up curves there. Raven does get dropped, but Washi finds the triple kill, and that's going to be enough. Finds the quad. That's enough for them to take control. More players rotating in at this point. This is definitely going to be a pretty sizable lead that Cygnus will have going into P2. I think for the most part, when Ingenic lost the B cap so heavily there, they probably should have just, as a team, went over to P2 and got ready. But that is, unfortunately for them, not the case. We do have Teabag making his way in. Again, this is his first appearance for Cygnus this season. And only 1 kill on the board for him so far, but we are also only like basically a minute into the game, so can't hold that to him too much. Right now, Washi and Fish, though, sitting up at 7 apiece, really helping carry the team right now.
Yep. And they're looking really good so far. Already a 50-point lead and only on P2 right here. As you can see, the PP19 not banned in this matchup, and F4 actually getting really clean push in there, and the break onto the point. Raph not going to be able to win the gunfight, and Minwoo going to be left all by himself, but actually able to get the push in. Not able to hit the follow-up. Washi doing everything he can to keep his team up above 13 kills on the board for him. Sorry. Once again, having a breakout performance, and I believe we've actually seen him have a similar performance on this same map. It does seem like he is a Hackney Yard specialist, as he's got 13 kills on the board already. His new teammate Fish having a solid game so far as well with 11. Saxy and Teabag, and honestly Raven as well, off to a little bit of a slow start, but definitely making it work so far, as they've already managed to muster an 80-point lead.
Yeah, I guess this is definitely not a team that you can sleep on, with Fish and Raven coming off of NL. Arguably had been one of the strongest teams in the league, and then through the merger of Cygnus and NL, we've obviously had a little bit of a divide as we're getting the COD champs team ready. So it makes a lot of sense. Again, the pickup of Washi for this team is really helpful to them as well. And I think one of the strongest suits that they have here is that they have Fish and Washi that are phenomenal snipers, and that's going to give them a lot of strength in these search and destroy matchups as well. So definitely got to be a team to look out for. They may not be an 18+ team, but I think any of the 18+ teams in the tournament need to be careful about this one.
Yeah, and right now it's the Fish and Washi show. They're combined for 34 kills. Washi already got a Pred missile and a cluster strike.
Friendly airstrike incoming.
Maybe some. Oh no, calling in his cluster strike right
Oh no,
there.
Teabag with the double katana kill.
Oh wow. Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you meant katana the operator skill. I was like, oh, we got a DQ.
No,
Okay.
the
That
samurai
is what it
knight.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, no, wait.
Hardpoint locked down.
Yeah, Washi and Fish so far combined for nearly 40 kills, and Washi just can't. He's not missing with a PP-19 right now, and when you got that amount of accuracy along with 64 bullets to work with, the movement that he's got, he's just absolutely running through this. If he would have turned on curves right there, I probably would have lost it. 26 kills on the board already.
Yeah, Washi doing great right now. Basically uncontested. I mean, he has more kills than the top 2 players on the side of F4 do combined. So really great performance out of him. I mean, again, when we first saw him with 8 Kings last season, I mean, we knew he was going to be something. I mean, he came up in arguably the absolute hardest first match for 8 Kings that they could have ever imagined, up against Tribe, and just really dominated. They didn't win, obviously, but I mean, to no fault of Washi.
Yep. And we do see Zygnus continuing to maintain that control of the hard point. It is now a 120-point lead, and kill after kill going in for Fish. They just can't seem to touch him on the point. I think that's a 3 or 4 piece for him. He's going to get taken out, but Washi's going to push in. Actually gets drop shotted by Raph right there. And definitely a much-needed break for F4 right here as they find themselves down by 110 points. Does look like they'll be able to get some scrap time right here. This is one of the more hectic hard points, especially over here on P5. You do have pretty much everybody spawning on or very close to the hard point, so they'll be able to close the gap a little bit. Now only 100 points separating the 2 teams. I feel like at this point we kind of got to watch Washi because he's got 31 kills on the board already and still a pretty good like, if F4 starts to make a comeback, we could very well see a kill record going in for Washi, as he's already got 31 on the board, and his teammate Fish not really having a bad day either with 25.
Yeah, I mean, these two, almost just the 2 of them are pretty much winning this matchup right now. I feel like, honestly, just to put it out there, I think T-Bag's trolling a little bit because they're winning so heavily. There's been quite a lot of katana out for a competitive match.
Dude, it's a one-hit kill. It's OP.
Yo, yes, you're right. If you can touch somebody with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hasn't so far really been the case for him. I mean, he's 13 and 16 right now, so not great, but pretty all right overall, I guess. I mean, again, the team specifically in Washi and Fish are really helping carry through right now. Saxy trying to make an impact as well, making a rotation over. But I mean,
oh gosh, it's actually getting closer than I expected it to be. It does seem like F4 is starting to win some more of their gunfights. Washi has also slowed down a good amount. He was kind of stuck at 33 right there, as Fish was stuck at 25 for a little bit as well. Fish is going to be able to push up. They do manage to get the break onto F4 and continuing to stack the lead once again. Still about 75 points separating these 2 teams, so not a lot for this Zygnus team to worry about, as it's one person getting the last 10 seconds of scrap time, and they're already setting up for P3 right here. Washi trying to get control of this top area to see if they can maybe get the breakout. He doesn't realize that Raph's right around the corner right here, and and I'm not sure how Raph didn't hear his gunshots, but somehow Washi gonna end up getting the 2-piece right there. Like, that's just at that point, that's a lapse in communication. You can't have a gunfight that's going on between you, your teammate sandwiched in between the two, and he has no idea that you're fighting that guy. So right now, if you're F4, it looks like, yes, you got to win your gunfights, but you also got to work on those communications, because that was a big missed opportunity for them. They do still have control of the hard point, but very well could have had a break going in for Washi right there.
Yeah, I am a little bit shocked that Teabag has opted to use the AK in this matchup, with the likes of the PP-19 being available. I mean, granted, again, not that he's really like used his primary a ton, but he's definitely also lost a lot of close-range gunfights just because the AK does struggle a little bit up against the submachine guns. Once again, has the katana out, was looking for the kill, is gonna die. Raven breaking into 20 kills, as well as Saxy with 22 each. Washi now pushed into 40 kills. Fish not too far behind at 36. We do have a couple players on the side of F4 who are starting to rack some kills up as well. We do have Minwoo 23, Ingenic 26, 4 Curves 26 as well. But Minwoo and Raph were kind of the two I would have expected to be at the top of the team, and they seem to be struggling quite a little bit here. We do have a kill coming through for Raven with a good rotation in. He has that LK set up, looking for the kill. He's going to find the major assist there, and is going to survive with about 48.5 HP. And, man, Raven is on a tear right now. Raven is killing it right now.
Yeah, it looks like Zygnus is going to go ahead. Okay, I thought they were just going to let the game play out and see if they could get a few more kills. They are going to go ahead and let it end with a 102-point win in game number 1 as they do take the victory. Not too much of a struggle, as obviously Washi and Fish dominating for the entirety of that game, and Raven starting to heat up toward the end right there as well. Washi with the 44 and 28 performance. Definitely nothing to scoff at, as they were without a doubt in control for the entirety of the match. F4 doing their best, but obviously in a matchup like that, there's just too much raw gun skill over on the other team. Not quite enough there for F4 to put up enough of a fight.
Yeah, and you know, again, F4 is a newer roster put together. There's going to be some team synergy, but the same is also can be said about Zygnus. Just overall, the gun skill was not even close when it came down to Washi and Fish. Washi was 16 kills positive in a 44 kill game. Fish as well, 16 kills positive. So the two of them really were helping carry the team through to this 102-point victory. Raven, not too shabby, but 27-22. Saxy played a lot more of the objective, so that is something to consider as well. 1:55 on the board for him, 26, 21, and 15. Teabag did struggle the most, down at 19 and 25. But then, I mean, looking over at the side of at the side of F4, Ingenic was the only player that was even remotely close to even with 27 and 28, as well as had the team's highest objective time. So, again, I would have expected Minwoo and Raph, who have been two of their more solid players, to perform a little bit better this game. But fortunately, this wasn't the one. Maybe as we get into Search and Destroy, they can turn it around. But this new Zygnus lineup for Zygnus Black is just so deadly, with Washi and Fish both being on the same team.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, there's a lot of really good players on this roster. And it's crazy that, honestly, it could be two of the top 3 teams, I would say, that are basically the same team. Obviously, there's some competition there, especially as far as standings go. It looks like there's probably going to be like 5 teams within 5 points of each other, so it's going to be a crazy end of the season. But the top of this league is just absolutely stacked right now. I'm looking at the scoreboard and it says F4 has Nan. I don't know what that means. But yeah, if Zygnus Black gets the 2-0, that puts them at 60. Cygnus Main is at 60, 11D's at 60. Right now, Tribe's at 55. Nova Invictus is at 55. Just an absolutely ridiculous top 5 in the league right now.
Yeah, and again, I think in the next couple weeks, we'll definitely have a couple teams branch off a little bit into being arguably more dominant. Because right now, all of the standings are pretty close. And by this time last season, we had like a solid 6 teams who had points and a solid 6 teams who really didn't have, or 6? Yeah, we had 12 last season, right?
Yes, 12 teams.
I think 12. Yeah, so we had like a solid 6 that were really taking off, and then we had the other half that were all kind of around down at the bottom, and a lot of that could be reflected just in even looking at the divisions. Division 1, when we had divisions, just, I mean, was like 4 teams fighting over the top 3 for that division with over 100 points. And then Division 2 definitely struggled quite a bit more, rounding out the season with a couple teams in like the 20s, 30s, 40s. So again, I think a couple of these teams, you know, specifically looking at the likes of Tribe and Invictus, will start to really excel in their next couple weeks looking at their matchups. But again, a lot of time left in the season. We can definitely see teams turn things around. Invictus is one of those teams that last season, you know, again, struggled in the first couple days of the season. We just didn't. We were like, oh well, you know, we thought Invictus was going to be doing great because everybody was switching to phones. That was a new requirement for Mobile Mayhem at the time, and they were already pre-existing phone players. We thought they'd have the edge. They struggled a little bit, and then just absolutely took off and blew up out of nowhere.
Yep. Oh, we had all of our players readied up, and oh wait, I'm looking at old messages. We do have all of our players ready up. Hopefully we got our screenshots in and ready to go for game number 2. Taking a look, because we didn't take a look again, because I'm a bot. Maps for the third matchup. Summit Hardpoint. Wait, that's got to be for the next matchup. Never mind. I take it back. We're just going to go back to looking at our faces because it has already been changed. We can look at it in the Discord and vocally relay to you guys the maps and bands. And this is map 3. Okay. Hackney Yard, Hardpoint, followed by Raid, Search, and Destroy. What is with all the Raid, Search, and Destroy? Give some other maps a chance. After that, we got Domination on Standoff. If we go to it, weapon ban, Cygnus banning the QQ9, and F4 banning the DRH. And we're good to go for game 3.
It does look like we're getting on into this one. It looks like potentially 4 curves could be the primary sniper for this particular lineup of F4. Obviously, Washi, a well-known sniper here in Mobile Mayhem. But again, kind of like one of like the backup strengths that Cygnus have, is if Washi doesn't show up one day, if he's got something going on. Fish last season, I would say, outperformed Cheto on NL for sniping. So they absolutely have a phenomenal backup sniper. I mean, being able to go toe-to-toe or even be ahead of Cheto in that sniper position was pretty solid for Fish there. He ended up getting Marksman of the Split, so obviously someone who can compete with the best of the best. So I actually wouldn't be shocked if Washi potentially gets it this time around. But we'll have to see as we move forward. Did you see what
Washi just did?
I did not. I was actually, at the time, spectating Raven.
He's casually...
Oh, I saw that, though.
Okay, so the first shot was just a blind wallbang through the mid-wall going through zigzag. And then he follows it up with a no-scope to finish out the round. And, I mean, round 1 was pretty much the same as Hardpoint was. Fish and Washi doing the majority of the work. We'll see if Washi can make some more crazy highlight plays. Looks like the full send on into A has already gone in. Not quite already gone in. Saxy's doing his best to defend against it. Does get the initial frag against Minwoo. He's going to be able to slide back to the head glitch. Oh my gosh. Things are falling apart for F4 right here. Raph does get the first kill, not able to get the follow-up. T-Bag's going to be able to take him out right there. And it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Cygnus Black.
Yeah, I mean, based off of how the hardpoint went, it's going to be really difficult for the side of F4 to push us into a game 3. Washi and Fish are just in the zone today. And again, F4 has had phenomenal games this season. I mean, they've put up fights against teams that I didn't really expect them to. I'm done. Washi, I'm done.
Did he wallbang again?
Yep.
Oh,
Sure did.
So close to
Sure
hitting
did.
Raph there.
Blind wallbang shot.
Oh, how did that
Found
not
another
hit
one.
Raph?
Oh my goodness.
His head must have been below the stairs or something. Oh, wait. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my gosh. He's just bullying them at this point.
No, if Washi doesn't get sniper of the split, they're lying.
Yeah, it's rigged. Oh my gosh. Stop. Stop the bullying. It's not fair. 3-0 lead for Cygnus Black. Oh, I mean, Washi is... Raven's got 0 kills, and I give him, like, you can't discredit it at all, because he probably hasn't even seen anybody so far, because Washi and Fish are too busy killing everybody. We do see the B push going in, as we do have F4 taking him by surprise a little bit. Couple frags go in, just like that. Fish finds a 2-piece for himself. Raph's gonna drop as well. Nade goes in. Washi's still alive, sniper in hand, hit markers right there, pulls out the pistol, gets the final kill. That's going to be a 4-0 lead for Cygnus Black.
Yeah, I'm just like waiting to watch chat's reaction to Washi being an absolute legend. What a champion. What a champion. Oh man. 4-0 lead currently.
Oh,
no,
no.
Washi's just gonna be Washi, I guess.
I mean, this is cyberbullying. No kills so far this round. Sexy's gonna find Dylan right there. Fish is gonna find what? How? How did he? I don't. What? Okay, Washi. How did he know he was? I don't have an explanation for what we just saw, Chad.
That one might be a review moment.
Yeah. Hey, my admins, can we get a review on? I'm confusion.
I'm right there with you, Bobby. Maybe it's just too big brain for me to comprehend.
Maybe in the footsteps.
Look, back in the day, I was a pretty solid sniper in Modern Warfare 2 and 3. Washi is just I could never imagine, right? Like this is nuts.
I mean, oh my gosh, he had the shot lined up on me through the wall. 4 curves finally takes him out right there. Will F4 be able to win a round? It seems unlikely. Fish has a sniper in his hands now. He's just trying to hit wall bangs on any wall that he can find. Curve still alive. Sexy, his teammate, there with him. Despite how well Washi is playing right now, he's still getting out-fragged by Fish by 5 kills. This guy is just running through the lobby right now. We'll see if he can maybe make a highlight play to finish out the round, as we do get Sexy planting the bomb over on B. Curves waiting to make a move. The pressure is on, and I feel like it's only right that we look at Fish try to hit the jump-off shot. And there it is, right to the face of Curves. That's going to be the 6-0 win for Cygnus Black.
With Washi and Fish playing like that, you absolutely can't be shocked, right? Like, I mean, as you mentioned, we were spectating Washi a lot just because the flashy plays were so good. But Fish, I mean, he got MVP and Marksman and Rookie of the Split last season. I mean, you know, this isn't someone you can sleep on whatsoever. And he really showed it there. 14 kills for Fish there. Washi just, I mean, an absolute nut. These two could really just carry Cygnus through. And that's not even to say the rest of the roster is bad. I mean, we have Raven coming over from what was previously NL as well. We have Saxy coming over from Nova Invictus, which is obviously a team last season that we talk about time and time again, Bobby. A team that, started off a little bit rough and then absolutely pushed and competed at the top throughout the rest of the season. So this is kind of like a mini all-star lineup as is. So, this is you can't really think of it as a B team to Cygnus because this is a team that can just as easily compete with their A team.
I mean, that can only be described as the flow state. There's just no other way to describe what we saw out of Washi and out of Fish. Like, that was they were untouchable right there. And that brings us pretty early to our final game of the night. It is 8:54 and we're already getting ready to hop in to the final match. Definitely the one that I am most excited for, and I'm sure probably a lot of you guys are too, and that is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Nova Invictus. Currently, the top 2 point getters in Mobile Mayhem, 55 points apiece. This is a very different Nova Invictus team than what we saw in Champs last year. They've improved a lot. They've been grinding, they've been improving, and this is definitely going to be a super fun match to watch.
Yo, chat, you can't even rag on Raven, Saxy, or Teabag there. You really can't.
Yeah.
They're like, all of the kills were just getting soaked up by Fish and Washi. I mean, it's not like anybody went mad negative, right? Like, Saxy was 4-1, Raven was 2-3, Teabag was 2-3. It's not their fault that Fish was 14-4 and Washi was 8-1.
Yeah, I mean, when you combine, that's 22 of the 30 total kills. That only leaves 8 kills for everybody else. Like, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I mean, that was nuts, and I definitely don't like. I see chat, saying Washi's hacking, right? Like, I feel like they're also joking because like the wall bangs that we did see were all like common places, right?
Yeah.
Like behind the wood wall mid, up into the laundry room. I mean, it's all like common places for people to be in search and destroy. But I mean, the jump shots were amazing. The quick scopes were there. Meanwhile, while you had Washi getting picks to open up the rounds, Fish was making really excellent rotations around to the back, just picking up double kills left and right. You can't blame Raven or Teabag or Saxy for not having numbers there at all.
Yeah, that was just fun to watch. Like, you don't get to see performances like that a whole lot. Obviously, F4 probably wasn't having a whole lot of fun, but you know what? Sometimes somebody else has to take the hit so that we can.
Someone's got to lose.
Somebody's got to lose. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But we are getting ready to hop into the last match. We do have Nova Invictus versus Tribe. Couple Tribe players loaded in already. Jez and Forsaken in here. Nova Invictus. Is Hax on Tribe or Nova Invictus? I think he's on Tribe.
The Tribe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So Hax loaded in as well. We do have Desi, Lewis, and Band. Nova Invictus, that's one thing I will say. They have really consistently had the same players in every single time. And I think that has definitely helped with their consistency in the way that they played. It's very, very rare for one of their starting 5 players to not be there.
Yeah, I mean, in past seasons, we've often seen Hax actually be a sub that is consistent around the board. But he's come through and been really a starter for the Tribe roster here and just been one of those consistent anchor players that, he may not put up top frags every game like the likes of a Bolu or an S-Thug or Sleepyhead from Exile, but he's always consistent both objectively and in his rotations and gun skills, so that's something to keep an eye out on. And this Tribe roster is absolutely nothing to sleep on. I mean, we're looking at Bolu, Forsaken, Jez, Hax, Marshy, Saizu, Childs, who is now 8N, or Ben, and the pickup of Vague. You know, we originally thought Vague was going to NL, and you know, he came through with a really strong performance for Tribe in his opening games. Let me hop on over to it. His first games for Tribe on Thursday of last week.
Muhammad!
41 and
Lord!
33 in hardpoint, and then followed it up with a
5,000.
solid 6 and 7.
Sheesh!
Bolu obviously had put out
Sheesh!
earlier in that week that he's going to be the primary sniper, filling in for A-Flows, who is taking what sounds like just a season off from Call of Duty. At least that's what I've heard so far. So definitely a lot of potential for this lineup. It's definitely a strong lineup that, you know, again, we may see kind of struggle a little bit in the sense that we have some players filling in roles they're not particularly used to, or players that we've seen who, you know, maybe haven't had the most consistent play time. But again, I mean, even in that sense, you know, Hack's been a sub in the past where we've seen him on and off of rosters. Has had a solid season. I mean, he's played every game for them. 25 and 20 in our first hard point, 4 and 5 with 8 assists in our first search and destroy that we saw them in. And you know, assists, you know, you guys can say, well, they're not kills, but quite often assists do lead to your teammate having won a gunfight a little bit more convincingly, and perhaps being even healthier looking into follow-up gunfights. So that is something to kind of keep in mind, especially in search and destroy, where getting that kill is significantly more important than in the likes of a hardpoint or a domination. So Pax has been a really strong assist player, and that lends itself credit to how well that team works as a team. In their domination against Zygnus, which the original Zygnus, every single person on that team put up double-digit hardpoint kills, or hardpoint assists and domination assists. So pretty solid teamwork coming out of those guys.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at our maps and bans real quick. For our final matchup of the night, Game 1 is going to be Summit Hardpoint, something we haven't seen a whole lot so far this season, so excited to see that one. Standoff, Search, and Destroy, especially after having Raid S&D for all 3 other games. That'll definitely be refreshing, and if we go to a Game 3, which I'm definitely hoping that we do, we will have Hackney Yard domination. As far as the weapon bans, Tribe banning the DRH, no Invictus banning the... or Tribe banning the QQ9, no Invictus banning the DRH, so probably once again, let's see a whole lot of PP19s and HVKs, if I had to guess. As far as the map bans, Tribe banning Hardpoint on Hackney Yard, Nova Invictus. Banning Hardpoint on Firing Range, typically the team that feels like, at least from past experience, it usually seems like the team that feels like they have the less gun skill is the one that bans Hardpoint on Firing Range. So I feel like that probably gives us an indicator in regards to Nova Invictus's confidence level, but at the same time, we've seen them be a really solid search and destroy team, and Tribe is the reigning champion, so obviously they are going to be favored, but
with a very similar lineup to they had
exactly
last season.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a really tight matchup as we do get ready to hop into game number 1.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in why they decided to have Bolu be the primary sniper for Tribe. They picked up Forsaken, and we've actually seen Forsaken snipe for previous teams. So we knew that skill was there. I mean, Bolu's come out and had a good performance being the primary sniper. I'm not trying to say he hasn't. I'm just, you know, interested into what made that decision, you know? Plus the pickup of Vague as well. We've seen Vague snipe quite a bit in the past. You didn't see Hacks snipe a little bit in the past as well. So a really strong and versatile lineup between these two teams, as we do have a couple kills getting picked up. Vague finds a triple there, pretty big for the team. Bolu finds the 4th on to Parrish. Going to secure some time on this initial hard point, but nothing too crazy going on so far. We do have A couple kill lead right now for the side of Tribe, but for the most part, pretty even.
Hardpoint lost.
Yeah, we got Vague now with 4 on the board. Envy waiting in the opposite window. Was not expecting someone to be there. Only 2 kills on the board, but definitely a really solid hold for Nova Invictus right here. Envy obviously on that bottom side with a mean head glitch to work with. We do have Jez making entry through. Not taking too many shots, but Envy doing a really good job of securing this portion of the map. Actually going to beam Bolu right there. And that's going to be big, even with Tribe getting some of the scrap time right here. Definitely catching them off guard, putting them on their heels, forcing them to spawn over on what I would say is probably the weak side of the map. And Envy's going to actually find kill number 5 right there. Very nearly had number 6 as he starts to work his way a little bit closer to a Pred missile. Vague is going to end that streak as he does get kill number 7. But definitely looking to be a really tight matchup right now as Nova Invictus with the early lead, but Tribe getting the break. Nova Invictus, I don't even need to call him Nova Invictus anymore because there's no Nova Imperium. Bad habit, but definitely looking close off the start.
I mean, to be fair, right? Like, you don't call your sports team by just the name, right? Like, it's usually, for example, I'm from Michigan, so I'd like say, the Detroit Tigers. True. So Nova Invictus kind of flows off the tongue anyway. We got to give them credit. They've earned it, Bobby.
True. We do have Tribe trying to set up for spawn control right here. Is Nova Invictus with a really solid hold on both P1 and P2. They gained about 30 points right there on P2, so we'll see if they can get the break in. Obviously, Jez just looking to secure right here. Actually, a couple fights coming out right here, which we haven't seen a whole lot. Paris trying to challenge that head glitch, not something I would typically recommend. Does get a kill. There's actually nobody on the point for Tribe, so they've been so busy trying to secure spawn control that they don't have anybody on the point, and now Nova not only has spawn control, but they also get the point. So that was definitely an interesting approach from Tribe. That's not the type of mistake we've seen them make a whole lot this season. So ideally, you'd like to see them be able to turn things around and not make that type of mistake again, especially with the type of spawn control that they had. Obviously, you do want to make sure you have control of spawns, but ultimately it comes down to time on the hill, and if you're sacrificing your time on the hill for the spawns, then you might need to reevaluate that strategy, as we do now see them pushing out, trying to get control of P4 right here. It does look like Tribe is set up pretty well once again. We'll see what Nova Invictus is able to do about it, as we do have them pushing through top control right now.
Yeah, this is a pretty even and back and forth game. We've had a slight lead for Nova for kind of the fair share so far, but it looks like Tribe are going to even it up, if not take the lead here on RP4. This is kind of an interesting map for the new hardpoint, because you don't like spawn right on the hardpoint like you do in Raid, but previously, if your team lost anchor and lost a gunfight on Summit, I mean, you were spawning like in the back behind P3, right? So I actually think this is one of the few maps that I really like the changes to the hardpoint respawn locations, just because it keeps it a little bit more fast-paced. I mean, hardpoint is a respawn game. We normally are seeing big kills out of them, and in the past, when we saw hardpoints on Summit, they were pretty low kill games across the board. So this definitely brings a little bit of a different edge to the competition that you got to keep an eye on. It's a lot faster pace. Right now, we have everybody from Tribe in double digits, as well as almost everybody in double digits for the side of Nova. But Band up at 19 kills, almost going to be the first player to 20 by like +5. So pretty strong performance out of him so far. There is kill number 20 before he gets traded out by Vague. Do have Tribe once again on the hard point, getting some time as they actually do step off here, but it does look like they, for the most part, still have control of middle. Hax, again, being a just really solid, consistent player, picking up a solid double kill there. Teammates may rag on him for being a thumbs player, but, whatever. Hax is solid in my book.
Yeah, we do have Parrish on the top side doing everything he can to try to get a break, but really not a whole lot of gunfight wins going in for Nova Invictus right now as they've slowed down, and Tribe has definitely taken control of this game. So it seems like following the botch hardpoint on P3, Tribe has really locked things up. They had a really good hold on P4. And also a really good hold right here on P1. So we do see them already looking to make the rotation. We're going to see a cluster strike come on in. So obviously nobody from Nova Invictus can be able to capitalize. That's pretty much the perfect spot to use that. And Envy, while that's happening, going to go ahead and try to take top side control. Bolu slides on in. He gets the frag right there. And Tribe is in control of the hardpoint once again.
Yeah, I mean, this started off as a very even game, and it's still quite very close. I mean, we are a little over an entire hard point in the lead of Tribe right now, but again, Nova are picking up the kills. They're just a little bit sloppier in the rotations as a team, where they're picking up a couple kills and then dying, and the time is just ticking away for the side of Tribe, who now have about an 80-point lead, a little bit more as they pick up this trickle time. So to get ready to go into P3, we see Hax sitting back, playing anchor here. And we'll have to see if Nova are able to pull anything together. We have a couple members of Tribe starting to respawn. There's no reason for Hax to be alive right now, but he picks up a strong double kill there. Going to be able to regen as well. Here's the footsteps, just looking for the kill. It looks like he got a little bit caught up in deciding who he wanted to shoot there, but it was, you know, just one of those things. Yeah, sometimes it happens. You turn a corner expecting to see one person when you hear one set of footsteps, and boom, there's two people standing there. It can be a little bit, iffy.
Yeah, an unfortunate spray for Parrish right there. He had the slide peek, but not able to land anything. And this is where P3 on Summit starts to get really chaotic, like you said. A lot more fast-paced spawns than they were previously, and this is definitely the one map that needed it, as really both teams trying to push in from both sides and see who can get the little bit of scrap time that is remaining. Envy going to be able to slide in, wins a gunfight. A little bit of time going in for Nova Invictus right here, and Bolu actually unfortunately spawning back here. I think he actually died intentionally to get the free rotation, and Parrish gave it to him. I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see them kind of jumping in circles, as that does now mean that a couple Nova Invictus players are going to be forced to spawn all the way across the map. Envy going to be able to win the initial gunfight, and it is his entire team trying to make the push up right here. Band is going to be the only one left standing. Doesn't see Bolu over on the side. He's going to get taken out. Tribe's in control once again. And what was previously, I believe, a 70 to 25 Nova Invictus lead has now turned into a 215 to 125 lead for Tribe, as they've taken complete control, largely in part to how well Vega is playing right now. 37 kills on the board for him right now. He is frying miles ahead of anybody else. Parrish and Band doing everything they can with 28, 29, and 30 apiece, but just looks like it's not quite enough right now. They could potentially turn things around, but they've got a long ways to go, and especially with the way that Vega's playing, it's not going to be an easy task.
Yeah, not by any means, and right now Tribe have a pretty solid lead despite Nova being on this objective. It would be a long, hard-fought comeback, but you know, Nova could possibly do it. It's just starting to look a little bit less doable as the game goes on. I mean, again, Tribe, their rotations, just the work they put in together has been absolutely phenomenal. You see them covering their angles so that there's not really a lot of opportunity for Nova to make any sort of flank rotations and get free picks. And looks like Tribe might be getting ready to close out this game. They're only about 7 points away from picking up a win here. As you can see, Hax making excellent use of the 64 rounds in the magazine there. And as the game is going to end, it's going to be about a 100-point win for the side of Tribe Gaming. And really great matchup between these two teams. And I think a lot of it could potentially boil down to specifically the this search and destroy matchup. I think is going to be a little bit rough for Invictus. I think if Invictus had a chance, it was more than likely going to be in the likes of winning in respawn. I just I don't know that we have consistent of enough sniper on the side of Nova to really have that extra edge that you'd like to see from them in Search and Destroy. We've seen Lewis snipe for them a lot in the past, but again, we were talking a lot about the sniper talent that Tribe has earlier, between Bolu, Forsaken, Vague, even Hacks and Jez. We've seen snipe in the past. I mean, usually pickup snipers, not really a primary sniper, but we've seen they have the talent to do so. So, that is kind of a gray area for the side of Nova.
One thing that's really interesting is that even though they lost by 97, Nova Invictus was actually +2 in kills. Which is not something, like, yes, especially in hardpoint, the rotations are everything. But with the new hardpoint spawns, that's something that we see less and less as the team with less kills ends up getting the win. Honestly, I feel like because of the fragging power that they have, Nova Invictus does still stand a chance in Search and Destroy, and we'll have to see how that one plays out. Obviously, Standoff Search and Destroy is always a super interesting one as well, because it tends to be more of a mind game, especially recently with a lot more teams making B pushes instead of just the full-on throw all your utility at A, rush on in, get the bomb down, go back to boxes, and wait for somebody to go for the defuse. Should be an interesting game number 2, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And it's definitely a good point that you bring up there that despite being up in kills, they lost by 97. We did have 5 more assists on the side of Tribe, so not a huge difference there. But looking at the objective time, with Vague being up at 111, Bolu 147, Hacks 145, and then looking over at the side of Nova, our top 2 are just barely over a minute, with Parrish being at 101 and Lewis being at 104. That really boils a lot down to the positioning of the kills. Nova were picking up more kills on rotation, but Tribe were picking up more kills on defense, which gave them that additional edge in objective time. So that's something that we're going to have to see Invictus pull through together in some of their future matchups, because again, the gun skill's obviously there. Just where they were picking the fights, they were a little bit late on a lot of the rotations to hard points, which gave Tribe an opportunity to set up. So just kind of some of those finer details. But I mean, still, even though it was a 97-point win, all through the game, it didn't really feel like Tribe were entirely in control. They were just more in control of their rotations. I mean, again, plenty of gunfights went the way of Nova, just positionally not the most value out of the kills.
Yep, without a doubt. We're just waiting for a couple players to get their screenshots in, and then we will be good to go for game number 2. Keep in mind, as far as the weapon bans, we do have a ban on the QQ9 and the DRH. So that is the reason we're seeing a lot of PP19 and HVK so far. We do allow 1 sniper per team in Search and Destroy, so obviously that's always going to play a crucial role as well. It has been interesting to see the way some of these teams have transitioned their approach to Search and Destroy on standoff. Like I said, previously it had just been all full send A, see if you can get the bomb down, hope they don't get a 5-man retake, but a little bit more strategy going into it with some back alley play, some B plants, etc., etc. Excited to see how these two teams match up against each other. And I do feel like Nova has improved a lot in their Search and Destroy, so I'm excited to see what they're going to pull out for game number 2 to see if we can push it to a game 3.
I was just kind of looking through some of the roster changes here. There's definitely some interesting stuff going on some of these teams.
Anything we need to know about?
Well, Invictus lost Hua.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did they pick up anybody?
That's what I was looking for. I don't... see the pickup anywhere. Yeah, I don't see him picked up anywhere, so that's unique that they have him missing. I mean, it could very well be something, you know, in personal real life. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to have been any sort of.
Okay, Zim said they just
demon
dropped
thing.
him.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty solid, consistent player for the team. You know, Envy has done pretty well for them as well in the past, so you know, it's kind of rough and maybe not having him here today. I mean, in their first couple matchups, Envy was 36-20 in hardpoint, and then in the following week, it was 42-32. And he really he's here, but didn't really show up in that degree today. And I feel like Envy and Hua's playstyle together really was a strong suit that Nova had. So that's pretty unfortunate for Invictus.
Yep, we are underway. Wow, Tribe, you typically do not see the defensive team push like that, specifically because of what we just watched, as they lose 2 players off the bat right there. They push all the way across the boxes, and it almost seems like they're kind of setting themselves up for failures. That's going to give Nova Invictus a free rotation all the way across over to B. Nobody's set up over there for Tribe. We do have Bolu picking up a pick onto Envy, which they desperately needed. We'll take a look at Bolu as he's taking a look over to the B site, and they're actually making the full rotation. This is the weirdest A rotation I've ever seen. I don't understand how Bolu hit that. Just like that, we're in a 3v3. Hops up on the tank, tries to hit the snipe, not able to make it happen. Perish takes out Hacks right there. Gonna watch the statue, hits another one onto Band. Just like that, Perish is all by himself. Bolu with the 4-piece to start it off. It looked like things were going to fall apart for Tribe, but he single-handedly holds it together and gets them round 1.
Yeah, solid play from Bolu there. And again, when I was mentioning earlier that Tribe has a lot of sniper potential, that wasn't to discredit how good of a sniper Bolu has been. And as you can see, picking up 4 kills for the team there. Pretty solid anchor for the team to be able to balance around. We do have a couple first blood picked up for Nova, but it very quickly falls apart. So we have Bolu picking up a double kill there. Forsaken makes the rotation in, finds 2 members of Nova, and it was a little too much to handle. It's now just Perish against Hacks.
Ooh.
And Perish actually gonna find the turn in the quad feed there. Really big play for Perish.
All right, it is the Perish versus Bolu show right now, as both players with really big clutches right there. I didn't think there was any way Nova was going to be able to clean it up, especially with Bolu continuing to frag out, but definitely a huge play for him, as we do see the continued A push, a little bit more aggressive than we saw the first round, and Tribe just comes flooding in. I don't love this approach. Really, it's just one giant ego shell is what it comes down to. You're saying, with no head glitches, no type of advantage at all, I think my team can beat your team when you're completely set up. And I just don't think that's the way you go, especially against a Nova Invictus team that's been really good. Like, it's one thing if you're going up against a team that's only got 15, 20 points this far into the season, but I just don't think that's the right approach for Tribe right now. We'll see if they keep doing it. Obviously, Nova Invictus would love for them to do so, because the only reason that Tribe won round 1 is because of Bolu's just ridiculous snipes, and we do see them playing what looks to be a little bit more passive, as we do have one player dropping off the bat for each team.
Yeah, it's a pretty one-handed carry for Perish right now. I mean, 10 kills on the board for him. The rest of the team being down at 1 and 2 is not the most ideal. But I mean, the same could be said about Tribe, with Bolu being a Envy. Oh my goodness, what a shot!
Oh, the 1v2 for Envy. Oh my gosh. It's been mostly the Perish show so far, but Envy, much needed play right there, as Nova Invictus now moves up to the 3-1 lead. And
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Tribe should be at least tied right now, but they just seem dead set on continuing this, and it finally works. But once again, on the back of Bolu's snipes, he's now got 10 kills on the board. Players dropping left and right. Parrish gonna get taken out as well, and the aggressive strategy finally pays off for Tribe. On the defensive side, like, it's one thing to have an aggressive strategy when you're on offense, but especially on the A side on standoff, typically that's just not gonna work out super well. We expect for them to have a very similar strategy on the offensive side as they do look to make the push up, but Envy's going to get the first blood onto Vague with a nade, and that's definitely going to slow down the push for Tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. And these teams have been really back and forth throughout the day. I mean, again, it was a 97-point hardpoint win for the side of Tribe, but it was a kill advantage for the side of Nova, which, you know, again, if anything, at least shows that they have the gun skill to compete with a Titan-esque roster coming out of the side of Tribe. Envy able to pick up a kill there. Forsaken actually picks up the sniper from Bolu and gets the return kill. And again, this is one of the strong suits that Tribe have, is they have so much sniping skill potential in this lineup. And it's not going to give them the edge here. Forsaken got an unbelievable hit marker there. Almost took Band out. I can't even believe he landed that shot over the tractor and the tank. Was able to get the jump shot there. And it is still currently a 4 versus 3 in favor of Nova. And they potentially could find a fourth round here as well. Forsaken finds 2. Hax finds a third. And what was a 4 versus 3 is now a 2-0. And that's going to tie us up 3-3. Great turnaround for Tribe there.
Yeah, Lewis just kind of got all turned around right there. He had a player that's just sitting behind him, but I am assuming probably dead silence made it a little difficult for him to play, or to make the play, as Tribe does even things up at 3-3 right here. We do see them switching things up. Now going with the B-side push. Bolu trying to find first blood. Not able to spot anybody across that back side. We do have Envy with the sniper in hand, and not quite able to spot anybody as like we said, this is not a usual tactic that we see teams employ. Number one, going for the B site, but for Tribe, just playing passive in general is not something that they do a whole lot. So we do see a few Nova Invictus players, honestly 4 of them, set up for a perfect defense right here. Now we're not sure if they're going to be ready to actually make the plays, as we do see them now making the counter rotation back toward A, but a lot of time has been spent right now, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on to this Tribe team, as it looks like Nova's pretty much full setup for the A push. As if they were going to make the push, they probably would have done it to B by now. Jez gets first blood. Envy gets a trade onto Bolu. With the way that he's been playing, that's about as clutch a kill as you're going to find. They are going to be able to get the bomb down onto the B site. I wish I had been watching it. Envy is starting to heat up right now as he gets kill number 8. Things falling apart for Tribe right here, but Jez gets a clutch 2-piece Hex. Trades, Band coming in. Jez not able to hit any. Oh, I thought he wasn't going to hit any shots right there. He did. Maybe a little bit of desync, and Tribe able to clutch up right there. I think they were at a 4-2 disadvantage, but a couple huge gunfights for them turn things around in a big way as they take, I believe, the 3rd round in a row.
Yeah, I mean, Tribe, again, not a team that you can sleep on. You've got to bring your best to that lineup. And right now, it's mostly Parrish and Envy. Parrish, 12 kills on the board. Envy with 18, 20 between the 2 players. Forsaken does almost get dropped there, is going to survive with 5 HP. Everybody's still alive for both teams. Do have Bolu looking for a pick on any rotations coming through out of 2-story. But don't really have anybody rotating over that way. Vague and Jez pick up a couple kills there. Forsaken as well finds another. And this is looking like it's going to be a 5-3 lead for the side of Tribe, who, you know, again, have been just one of the most consistent teams across last season to this one as well. So Definitely, just a surprisingly good lineup. Like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, all these good players, or all these are good players, but I just, didn't know at the time if they were going to mesh well together, and they absolutely have. So, it's really been almost like a semi miracle roster, right?
Yep. And we do see, once again, they got the advantage. Bolu nearly had sight for the wall bang right there onto Band. Not quite able to make it happen. Band is able to get first blood. Very much needed for a Nova Invictus team that is dropped 4 rounds in a row. And just like that, a triple feed goes in for Tribe. Lewis able to win one gunfight, but not able to get away. And it's going to be Desi, who only has 2 kills in total, left to clutch a 1v3 to save the round. And he doesn't last very long. Bolu is ready over on Statue. And that is 5 rounds in a row going over to Tribe to give them the 6-3 win. If I'm being totally honest, if Tribe had played the first few rounds a little bit smarter, they probably could have either 6-0'd or 6-1. And I think, ultimately, I think that was an ego chow, that what they were doing right there, just absolutely full sending from the defensive side over to boxes. Like, logically, there's no reason to do it, but they just felt confident enough, and definitely did not seem to be misplaced confidence as they dominantly win our final match of the night.
Yeah, that was great play out of both of these teams. I mean, again, even though it was a 6 versus 3 in the Search and Destroy, and even though it was a 97-point win in the Hardpoint, Nova really looked good. And Tribe, again, are kind of just currently on their own level, like just above, even though the scoring hadn't previously really stated that. I believe that 2-0 victory does put them in first place again, over who bumped up to 60 earlier.
Well, I think that puts them at 75, right?
Right, yeah. I think it was 11 earlier may have bumped up to 60.
So currently we have Zygnus Main, 11T, and Zygnus Black all at 60 points.
Okay. So, like I was saying at the beginning of the broadcast, I expect these next couple days to really be where a couple teams start to shine out of the pack, because we really had like 8 of the teams within 20 points of each other there for a minute. And I think this is where it's really going to start to separate a little bit. I mean, we have a lot of talent at the top and at the bottom of the leaderboard. I mean, this is perhaps one of the most competitive mobile mayhems I've been a part of. So, I love the development here in the mobile mayhem COD mobile scene, and it was a great day of games. I mean, again, we had teams really show up to the plate here in ways we didn't expect them to today.
Yeah. Well, that rounds out a relatively early night, at least by Mobile Mayhem standards. 9:30, already getting out of here. Hope you guys enjoy your nights. As always, thank you to Dave for casting with me. Thank you to our admins for taking care of everything on the back end. Splinter, Zim, and B are the unsung heroes of Mobile Mayhem, and thank you to our players for playing. That is going to be it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Should be bright and early for another day of Call of Duty Mobile. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.